Bomberman 64. A game I've spent countless hours playing, and here's why I think you should play it too. It was actually honestly one of my all-time favorite games. Bomberman 64, which is also known as Baku Bomberman in Japan, Hudson Soft developed this game and released it in 1997. Now, Bomberman 64 was the first 3D game within the Bomberman series. This game received mixed reviews, and critics sadly commented that in a weird change of the series' most common trend, the single-player mode turned out much better than the multiplayer mode for this version of the game. My reason why I believe this is the reason? Well, the bombs blew up in a spherical manner compared with the traditional older games where they only blew up on an X and Y axis. And in the multiplayer mode, this made it harder to formulate a plan of attack or to get out of the bomb blast radius. For me personally, I loved all aspects of the game, including the multiplayer aspect of it. The challenge really lies in knowing how to use the bombs. Bomberman can't jump like most traditional platforming games, leaving the player to figure out more complex solutions to get to the end goal, or to find the hidden secrets. Sure, Bomberman was tuned more for the single player story mode, and the story itself was quite well written. It had a plot, and it had stages that challenged you enough to really hook you in, but not to the point where it would frustrate you. Although I remember a time where I had to use game FAQs to figure out how to beat the game, even before YouTube playthroughs and tips and tricks were commonplace. The game consists of 6 playable worlds to explore, and the stages don't really have very appealing names. In my honest opinion, they're quite generic, but in a way that they're kind of cleverly named, as to not make them too bland or too boring. Now, the 4 main stages that are unlocked right from the get-go and can be played on are Green Garden, Blue Resort, Red Mountain, and White Glacier. Each area had a total of 4 stages, 2 main levels, and 2 boss battles. Once you complete the mission objective of each stage, it unlocks the next area. Green Garden starting as the easiest stage, and then ramping up. You don't have to play these stages in order, but if you're looking to learn how to play the game, I always recommend starting with Green Gardens. The first boss met in each game was always the Guardian, which looked similar to Bomberman and would have their own unique abilities. The second boss encounter was always an animal or something else. The 5th stage, Black Fortress, can only be unlocked once all 4 stages have been cleared. And this stage, in my opinion, was the second hardest in the game, but not the true ending. In each stage, you collect gold cards. 1 for beating the stage within the designated time, and 4 others that are either scattered across the level, or that you must hit a boss in a specific manner to get those gold cards. 100 gold cards are needed to unlock the final stage, called Rainbow Palace. When it comes to the camera, the player controls the camera angle, and being able to rotate at 90 degrees using the C-stick buttons. Myself, sometimes I found this personally to be annoying, as you would have to stop and rotate the camera to figure out your position, or try to solve the puzzle while rotating the camera on the fly. And while trying to beat the clock, sometimes this can be the difference between beating the level within the timeline or not. The camera was also a hindrance in the multiplayer aspect, as it's a fixed angle, and the biggest gripe that critics had with the difficulty to tell where you were in the multiplayer levels. I personally didn't have this issue, and honestly I found the multiplayer aspect quite fun. However, the novelty of the multiplayer can wear off extremely fast. Overall, this is a great game if you've loved Bomberman, and it's a great transition to the 3D space. Enough challenge to have you coming back for more, and enough hidden gems that can really feel satisfying to discover. Honestly, when it comes to the level design itself, I think a great level of thought and effort went into designing each level. And the music certainly matched that feel. No 2 stages were alike. The variety and challenge in each level makes them feel unique enough. Even though they share the same name, for example Green Gardens or Red Mountain, each feel was really well executed. There really isn't much else I can say about Bomberman. The controls are quite straightforward, and Bomberman has fairly basic abilities, being able to place bombs, kick bombs, pick up bombs, and one of his newest abilities was to be able to pump up a bomb, maximizing its size and destructive power. Pumped up bombs can't be kicked, and it makes sense, although it's very easy to get caught up in the bomb blast if you're too close. So my concluding thoughts on the game? A great platform game and a puzzle game for the lovers of Bomberman, or even the lovers of puzzle games and platformers. Even if you've never played a Bomberman game before, it's a classic Nintendo 64 and a standout in my eyes. I definitely recommend checking it out. That's my final thoughts. Thank you. You've made it this far. Thank you. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. For extra videos and bonus content, check out my Patreon. We have a Discord server if you'd like to join the community. Thanks for watching and stay splashtastic.